Yes, we are here. We are here. We are here, and we are pleased to be able to be of service and assistance today. We did prompt the family to attend once again that region in their community to be able to help uplift. She noticed the energy was very somber. It wasn't as uplifting energetically as she had noticed. But this is just a reference to how this community is feeling in general. As more and more people have exit points, there is this stillness of energy, a density of reflection of lives being taken so quickly. There has been in that community, unbeknown to her, quite a few suicides, all different ages. And this has got the attention of their community. Tragedy when someone young chooses to have an exit point. Of course, from our perspective, it is all purposeful for the community to think hard about itself and to think hard why someone with a great life ahead of them would be so desperate to remove themselves from this planet that they would take the life of their own hands, to take their life with their own hands. And so everyone in the community is feeling this sadness, this impact. They are noticing that more and more people are leaving and having exit points, and there is more connections now with tragedy than much joy and communication of excitement, communities of excitement. As the months are getting colder and darker, it is a true reflection on what they are going through collectively. And so she noticed this shift of energy. And so we wanted her to go with the family again to transmute that. And this is why she needed to go into the water this time, to be able to really quickly, energetically remove this density. And she also had to face some fears. And she's connecting them with us now because she wants to understand the fear of heights. She can't understand where she got it from. She did hear from someone in a session that she had an exit point while falling. And so she is afraid. She remembers this as a very young age, and she is now pondering, how is it to be? How is it to be that if this is my first lifetime here, I'm afraid of falling? We will scan into this now and see the origin of this fear. She was never really stable on her feet. She had very weak ankles. And so she always would feel that the body was lacking in durability and stability. She was never much in her mind, in her body. She was never much really in her body. And so as she was doing certain routines, walking to and fro from school, for example, she would just be in a meditative state. So she would really be out of the body, focusing on certain other things, densities and connections, and not paying much attention to the actual body. And so the body would easily trip up on uneven grounding because she wasn't focusing on what the body was doing, because she didn't really get sort of a license to work the body. She loves dancing this is a great example. She loves dancing, but she was very uncoordinated, as if there was, she dances with her mind energetically, but the body cannot keep up with her as she is feeling into the tune of the music and the rhythm of the music. In fact, she can dance to the beat of the music energetically with her soul, but the body is not even physically possible to be able to do this. And so this is why she thought she would love to dance and have fun, but ultimately the body lags behind. And she wanted to keep uplifting herself when she was younger, but the body is just such an awkward vehicle when you're so in tune with the sounds of music that it made her very confused, because intuitively she could read that music energetically perfectly, but yet as a translation, her body looked basically spastic as she was trying to match and mirror the sound and energy that she was hearing. And so she's not asking about her uncoordination today, but we're saying that when she was having to go upstairs, she knew she couldn't really trust the body. And so it gave her a sense of panic of, oh, this old thing, it's so unuseful and unhelpful. She better focus. I better focus, she would think, as she was going up the stairs, but she'd have to go so slowly, and she was afraid because she knew how much pain her body has given her, because it has many times fallen and stumbled over itself. And so when she was walking upstairs, it's not the fear of falling and exiting, it is the true fear and distrust she has with her body, because she knows that there is a disconnect between what she energetically thinks versus what the body physically does. And so we had to ground her down more with this. And she can understand now how we did such a thing. But it is so common for children to be so awkward with their bodies. Parents will say, oh, this is growing spurts, and they're not used to the new size of their bodies as they do rapid growing. And we say it's sort of like that, but you really have to focus on the body to be able to make it work. And when you're so used to working with energy, actually having to physically get the body to do as you need to at the speed, the angle, the grace, the movement is more commonly much more of a chore to beings who don't want to really be in the body, who don't want to really focus on the density of the bodies. And so it's a balance between grounding them down into the density of the bodies and being truly one with the body. And it's a balancing act. And so she never truly was afraid of falling. It was realizing we were trying to show her she's not trusting her body, because she is absent-minded about the body. And so she faced her fear today. And she realized as soon as she was going up these stairs, she was starting to get a sense of fear. She didn't think she was going to have this today. Last time she went to this water park with her children, she watched them and she enjoyed being barefoot in the water and seeing them have so much fun. And we prompted her then, do this for yourself next time. And today is that next time. And so as she was excited, she did not care less about the physical size and shape of her body. She was happy to wear her two-piece, and she did not ever consider or read into people judging the body. She used to do that well, and that used to feel bad. She used to read people judging the body, and she used to feel bad. on herself because of other people being judgmental. And so, because she has worked so much on loving herself and accepting self and understanding all of her choices to get the body she has today, she is proud and responsible for that. And she is comfortable with who she is. And this is a great stepping stone for her, a great personal revelation. She is comfortable with who she is. She respects that the body is not who she truly is, that it is merely a vehicle, but it is a representation of how she has looked after her body, and in some regards, how she hasn't looked after her body. And she likes these reminders of how she has neglected her body because she understands, she's learned from those. And so she respects everybody's bodies now. And while she makes silly jokes, they are just for entertainment and there is truly no malice behind it. And so as she wore her two-piece today, she chose not to read into anyone's judgment or reflection upon her. And this was nice for her to not be so insecure, to then have to read in and tune in what people are reflecting upon her. And so this is another great example of how she's evolving. And so as she was climbing up the stairs with her very excited children, she did get that sense of slight panic and fear. And she thought, why is this panic and fear with the heights? Am I afraid of falling? And she got a sense that the higher she got, the more disconnected she was from the density. And that made her body feel unsafe because the body is so used to the density that going a little bit higher off the density was a trigger for the body to feel unsafe. And while there is that, because the conscious mind is knowing this is what needs to be focused on now. Focus on the steps, focus on the steps, focus moving forward. Do not fall up the stairs, do not fall down the stairs. And so it was the mind and the body trying to get her more focused attention to be cautious and conscious of what the body was doing and to be more in tune with the mind as she was focusing and thinking about other things. So it sort of took her off by surprise that she suddenly felt this angst again of the fear of heights. And it isn't the fear of heights, as we said. It is the fear that the body can not respond as the mind is thinking it is working and using the body, and then that can cause pain. And so it was a trigger for her to really understand and to connect in with us, to be able to hear from our perspective what is going on there for her. And then the other experience that she had was the speed of which the water slide conducted itself. It was slightly terrifying, but she could feel the body fully tense up. And she briefly thought, oh, I don't like this. I have no control. I cannot stop. I cannot steer. I have to go with the flow. And as soon as she realized she has to surrender and let go, she immediately fully relaxed the body quite instantly, where she just went with the flow. And she realized that was the much easier way to go, to fully surrender and not take control or not feel like you need to be in control of these. This is the whole purpose and thrill of these experiences, is surrendering and going with the motion and the movement. She realized that when you fully surrender in and just go down the water, it is not as thrilling as when you're semi-half terrified and adrenaline kicks in. And so she did it quite a few times with her children. And she just realized that when you go with the flow, when it's the path of least resistance, it gets a little bit boring, but it's still enjoyable. But the challenge of pushing the limits and going against the stream, she wanted to explore what it would be like to go backwards, and wanted to explore, even though the rules were very firm that you must go feet first. She did ponder how it would be for the senses, but she fully surrendered into this experience today, and she enjoyed it with her children. But she was thinking, what is the purpose of all of this? And the fact that she faced her fears with the heights and just addressed it and controlled her body carefully and correctly, and also rationalized with herself, this is a very stable structure. I will not jump into fear that it could collapse. So she had to do lots of balancing of active mind, active body, and to be able to merge it together in perfect harmony. And there was no problems. And so she wanted to understand if there had been a lifetime where she had died. And we say, not on this planet where she died from an impact of a fall. And there has been many other experiences where she has had to drop altitude very quickly and panic has set in. And we're reminding her now of a dream she recently had where she was on a plane. And we're saying she was actually on board a craft that had been shot down, and she got to experience being attacked by humans. And this is very interesting for her. But this is not what she is interested in exploring today, as she does want to enjoy the rest of her evening. And so she was just curious about those things. And when she is interested or prompted, we are more than welcome and happy to be able to express and talk to her about the other things her soul has experienced. But as she knows, it is about mastering and focusing and learning the significances and purposes and lessons for this lifetime now, because this truly is the most important one you need to focus on and do the inner work from and for, and to be able to notice if there is anything that is challenging you or triggering you or making you ponder what is the purpose and significance of this. And so it all makes complete sense now that we have explained it to her. And she is grateful for the opportunities to understand a bit better about her own body and how it has had so many mishaps. And it's all purposeful. And we say this with much love.